I never thought I'd share a bed with a queen, much less one who could crush a tank with her bare hands. It all started on Varela Prime, a humid jungle world that Earth had barely begun to explore. I was there as part of a joint diplomatic initiative between the Terran Coalition and the Nzar Dominion. I wasn't a soldier, a politician, or a spy. I was a xenobiologist. My job was to observe fauna and avoid stepping on poisonous flowers. The Nzar were a matriarchal warrior race known for their height, armor-like skin, and an overly formal language that could make a grocery list sound like a war declaration. Their queen, Zeltari VII, was a legend across half the galaxy. Towering over 7 feet tall, she was graceful, terrifying, and as distant as the stars. Until the night everything changed. There was a sudden tropical storm unlike anything I'd seen. Rain fell sideways, lightning turned the night into flashes of purple and white, and our camp's generator overloaded, causing a full systems failure. With communications down, our team evacuated to the nearby embassy outpost. Only I and one other stayed behind, Queen Zeltari. "We do not abandon the grounds while negotiations are active," she had said in her steely voice. So we bunked down in the field shelter. Just one structure remained intact. It wasn't built for 2 people, let alone a human and a 7-foot alien queen. But she didn't care. "This is adequate," she said, ducking under the entrance and immediately claiming one half of the narrow bed. I gulped, setting up my cot on the floor. "You are injured," she said, noticing the long scratch on my leg. "It's nothing," I said, brushing it off. But she growled softly and pulled me up, placing me on the bed beside her. "Our healers say recovery is improved with warmth. Shared body heat is tradition among warriors. You will not resist." I stared at her, stunned. Was this royal protocol? Or just her being her? And that was the first night. We lay there back to back at first. Then at some point, her arm slid over me protectively. Her skin was cool like stone at first, but she radiated a subtle warmth over time. I didn't sleep much, too tense to relax. But I didn't hate it either. By morning the storm was gone. So was my cot. She must have removed it. Middle. "You will accompany me again tonight," Queen Zeltari announced the next day, as though it were a military order. "I found your presence stabilizing." Stabilizing. I had no dreams of battle. That is rare. And so began a strange ritual. Every night, despite working separate schedules, she would arrive at my quarters, sometimes with a single pillow, sometimes dragging her massive ceremonial blanket behind her. She never asked. She simply entered. "I have chosen," she once said, as if that explained everything. First it was just sleep. But over the days our conversations grew. I told her about Earth, its oceans, our music, our mistakes, our literature. She was particularly fond of Earth poetry. "This one," she said one night, tracing a finger across my datapad screen. "This line, 'I have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night. This is worthy of battle song.'" She told me of Nzar customs, how queens were trained from birth to command, to never show weakness, to sleep alone. "Sleep is vulnerability. Yet I slept beside you. And I woke stronger." By the second week, the crew began to notice. Whispers filled the corridors. "She's sleeping with the human. She guards him like a war prize." I didn't know what to make of it. Was this courtship? Political strategy? Or something deeply personal? One night I asked, "Zeltari, why me?" She didn't answer at first. Instead, she reached out and held my hand, a gesture rare among her people. "You never feared me. You speak freely. You breathe near me like I am not a weapon. That is uncommon." I laughed nervously. Well, you're terrifying, but I figured if you wanted me dead, I wouldn't be alive to worry about it. She smiled barely. Then came the royal envoy, a fleet of Nzar warships, led by her mother, the Grand Matron. She had arrived early to conclude the negotiations and collect her daughter. We all knew what that meant. Zeltari would be leaving Varela Prime. Our time was ending. The Queen was cold that day. She said little. She didn't visit me that night. Ending. On the day of departure, the jungle buzzed with insect calls, the sky a shimmering gold above us. The Nzar fleet lowered from orbit like descending gods. I stood among the Terran delegation, trying not to look for her. But she found me. Zeltari stepped forward, her armor gleaming, her silver crown hovering slightly above her head. She ignored the ambassador's greeting, the ceremonial farewell. She walked straight to me. "I will be gone 6 cycles," she said, voice low, almost unsure. "Will you be here when I return?" I blinked. 6 cycles. That's half a year. She stepped closer. 6 cycles of dreams without warmth. Without the one who does not fear me. And then, in front of both delegations, she placed her hand on my chest. "Our tradition began in storm. Let it continue in peace." Her guards stiffened. Her mother narrowed her eyes. But she did not flinch. I smiled, stepping closer. "I'll wait." She nodded once, the faintest curl of her lips appearing. Then she turned, cloak billowing behind her as she boarded the flagship. I watched her go, unsure what had just happened. 6 months passed. I resumed my work on Varela Prime. The jungle felt emptier. My sleep was shallow. But I waited. Then one quiet night, the outpost alarm pinged. A ship had entered orbit. No identification, no warning. Seconds later, the door burst open. She stood there. Not in armor. Not as a queen. But in a simple robe, her eyes softer than I remembered. "You still sleep alone," she said, stepping inside without asking. I was waiting. Without a word, she lay beside me. Her arms curled around my chest. And that night, the tradition continued. But now it wasn't just hers. It was ours.